Hello everyone, and thank you for watching the Kronos Timekeeper employee training for how to enter your time for Group 3 non-exempt troopers, cadets, CBI agents, and non-exempt firefighters. So in this training session, we're going to be going over how to enter your time if you are a Group 3 employee. Now, before I get into the how to enter your time, I just want to go over very briefly the different groups of employees and where each employee falls so that you know how to enter your time. Just FYI, this document is available on the HR intranet site. So if you want to refer back to it later, you absolutely can by visiting the HR intranet site. Now, these are the different groups of employees. Group 1 is exempt employees. Group 2 are non-exempt timestamp employees. And Group 3 are non-exempt troopers, cadets, CBI agents, and non-exempt firefighters. So how do you know what group of employee you are? It's very simple to figure out. Group 1 employees are exempt employees. Exempt means that you do not get paid for overtime, nor do you accrue comp time if you work more than 40 hours in a week. So if I am a Group 1 exempt employee and I work 48 hours this week, I'm still only going to get paid for 40 hours and I will not accrue comp time for those extra 8 hours. That's what exempt means. So if you are an exempt employee, you are automatically in Group 1. If you are on a 28-day cycle, so troopers, cadets, CBI agents, and non-exempt firefighters, you are automatically in Group 3. If you are not in Group 1 and you are not in Group 3, you are automatically in Group 2, non-exempt timestamp employees. In this training session, we're going to be reviewing our Group 3 non-exempt troopers, cadets, CBI agents, and non-exempt firefighters and how they are going to be entering time in the Kronos Timekeeper system. Okay, so if you are in Group 3, you will not have a pre-populated schedule in Kronos Timekeeper. Basically, you are going to be manually entering your time in and time out. Best practice is to log in on a daily basis and enter this information. At the very least, you need to be doing it on a weekly basis because you will also be approving your time card on a weekly basis. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the Kronos Timekeeper website, and this is what it looks like. So right now we are logged in as Julie Baker. Okay. And this is Julie Baker's time card. Now, if you are a Group 3 employee, this is how you are going to enter your time, okay? You will not have a pre-populated schedule here, okay? But you will be inputting your in time and your out times in these two columns. So for example, let's say that I worked on Monday, 10/3, from 7 a.m. So I'm going to put 7A. And I'm going to tab over. Now notice how the system knew that I meant 7 a.m. So the system is very intuitive in this way. I could have put 0700. I could have put 7 a.m. with or without the colon. Doesn't really matter. The system knows what it is that I'm trying to put in. Okay, so it's very intuitive. So I'm going to put in that I worked from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that is how I enter my time as a Group 3 employee. Now, a few other things I want to show you how to do in this system. Now, you might have noticed the column over here that says transfer. Okay, so this column is used by employees who will have to either record grant information or will have to record special event information. So we will be having a separate module created. It'll be called the activities module, and it is slated to go live on December 1st of this year. But in the meantime, between now and December 1st, you will be recording your special events and grant information through these drop-down menus in the transfer column on your time card if you are a Group 3 employee. So I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say on Tuesday I worked from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But then let's say I did a special event from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Well, there's only one line here for Tuesday, so I can come over here to this plus symbol and click on it, and it will give me an extra line for Tuesday. So then I can put in, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then I can click on the transfer drop down, and I can click on a special event. So it looks like Julie Baker has been using the location 1 special event quite a bit. I can also click on the search option, and let's say this time I went to location 2, and then I can click apply, and I've just recorded my special event information. Okay, so that's how you record special event information. The other thing you can do in your time card is submit a split shift. So let's say Wednesday I actually worked, let's say I worked from 10 p.m. and my shift ended at 5 a.m. Okay, so on Wednesday I worked from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Okay, and then on Thursday I worked from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And that's how I can record my split shift. Now let's say I worked the exact same shift again starting on Thursday. Well, I can come over here and click on the plus sign. Oops. Oh, I accidentally did one too many. So if I do one too many, I can click on this X and it'll get rid of one of them. So on Thursday, then I worked again from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. And on Friday, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And that's how I can record my split shift. Okay? Now again, regarding the transfer column and recording special events and grade information, the activities module is slated to go live on December 1st, and it is still being constructed at this point, so we will give you guys information as we get closer to that go live date, but for the time being, this will be how you record your special event and grade information if you're a Group 3 employee on your time card. So that is basically how you are going to record your time card. I also kind of want to go over the rest of this time card and show you the different parts of the time card so you know what you're looking at. So this column right here, pay code, this is mostly going to be used for time off requests. So if you had a time off request for annual leave or sick leave or something like that, it would show up in this column on the appropriate day. These 4 columns over here, amount, shift, daily, and period, they're going to show you the different amounts of time for the specific period. So the amount column will show you the amount for the line, the specific lines per line, and then the shift column will show you the amount of hours per shift, daily will show you the amount of hours daily, and period will show you the amount of hours for the work period. Okay. So up here you can see I can also print my time card if I want to. This refresh button will refresh the time card, so if I made a mistake and I just want to refresh the entire time card and put it back the way it was, I can click that. So the other thing I can click is this calculate totals button. Doesn't appear to want to work for me right now, but basically this button, so if I clicked on the calculate totals button, it would automatically populate the totals in these 4 columns. I can just look at the totals without actually saving the time card. So it's a really useful tool if you're trying to calculate totals for time worked and leave and all those different combinations. Okay, especially if you're working 160 hours in the 28 days, you can kind of use the calculate totals button to calculate those totals, and you can kind of see what you have available or have used or have worked in that 28-day period. This is the save button. So when you make changes in your time card, you can click this save button. If you made changes, the button will be orange, as you can see right there. If you have not made changes, so if I refreshed the time card, and you notice I have unsaved changes, so it's asking me if I want to proceed. Yes, I do, just for the purposes of training. So you see right now I don't have any unsaved changes, so the save button is grayed out because I didn't change anything. So that's one way to know whether you still have changes that you need to save in your time card before you leave the time card window, is this button will turn orange. A few other things about the time card window. I can click on this drop down right here and I can look at different time periods. So I can look at, right now I'm looking at the current pay period. I can look at previous pay period. I can look at next scheduled period, last 30 days, what have you. I can also click on this calendar button and I can put in a start date and an end date. So again, for you guys on a 28-day cycle, which are your group 3 employees, you can put in the first day of the 28-day cycle and the last day, and you can just see that period on your time card. Okay, and then down here, if you see this gray arrow, if I click on it, so it will show me different totals that are on my time card. So it'll show me, it can show me all the totals, shift, daily, period to date. I can also filter by account and pay code if I want to. Right now, Julie Baker doesn't have anything on her time card, so there's no data to display, but if there was, it would show down here. The other thing I can click on is the accruals tab, and this is one of the ways that I can see my current leave balances. Okay, so just be aware that that's down there. Okay. Now, group 3 employees, you will be approving your time card on a weekly basis, and the way you do that is you come up here to this drop down approve time card and click on approve time card. And if you notice the time card changed this orangey yellow color, that means it's approved and I approved it. Now, if you notice over here, if you notice these red eye looking things, these are called exceptions. So this one, if I hover over it, it will tell me it's an unexcused absence. Looks like all of these are unexcused absences. That probably means I either forgot to record my time for that day, or it could mean that I didn't submit a time off request and I was supposed to. So if I was out sick and didn't come in the next day and submit my time off request for sick leave, it'll show as an unexcused absence. Okay, so I want to change that. Well, I've approved my time card, so I can't make any changes. But I can come up here, click on the drop down, and remove the time card approval. And if you notice, it turned back to white. So I can make those changes and correct those exceptions if I want to. Now, please note that if you have approved your time card and your supervisor has approved your time card, you will not be able to make any corrections to that time card. Okay, so if only you have approved the time card, you can go back and remove the approval and make changes as necessary. However, if both you and your supervisor have approved the time card, then any changes you need to make need to be made by your supervisor. Okay? So I just want to make sure everyone is clear on that. Okay, and that is basically how Group 3 employees will be recording their time. So we did go over just now the navigation of the time card. We went over how to record our time for Group 3 employees. We also went over how to add lines to the time card and how to record split shifts. We also went over the transfer column and how to record grant information and special event information. At least until the activities module is up and running. We also went over how to approve a time card and remove approval for a time card. Okay. So that is what we have gone over in this training session. If you have any questions, please do submit them to the HR office, either via email, cdps_hr@state.co.us, or you can give us a call at 303-239-4427. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.